My name is Mike, and my fiancé and I were robbed of our dream. Not in a robbery you can report, but in a slow, chilling theft of our safety, our peace, and our... We were a young Asian couple who just bought a starter house in a quiet Georgia suburb. The excitement was palpable until we met the man who lived next door. From day one, the house to our left felt off. The curtains were always drawn, yet a car sat in the driveway. We'd catch glimpses of him, a man we'd later know as Gordon, standing just behind the glass, watching us unload groceries or work in the yard. The moment our eyes met his, he'd vanish. It was unnerving, but we wrote it off as reclusive awkwardness. Then one night at midnight, I saw him clearly. He was in his upstairs window, which faced our bedroom, standing perfectly still and staring directly at me. The next morning, he was at our door, apologizing with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. He said he'd been fixing his window ledge. We accepted the apology, wanting to be good neighbors. That was our first mistake. A week later, my fiancé shook me awake. There's someone in the yard. I looked out to see a man, a full-grown adult, pacing our backyard. I yelled, and he hurried out, slamming the gate. A few nights later, it happened again. This time, I saw his face in the moonlight. It was Gordon. I confronted him. He answered his door instantly, smiling that same hollow smile. He laughed and said he was just chasing off kids who jumped the fences. "You'll get used to it," he said. But his eyes held a cold, unmistakable hate. Trying to ease the tension, we made a catastrophic error. We accepted his invitation to dinner. The atmosphere in his house was thick with hostility. He got drunk, and the mask fell away completely. He made racist jokes then, outright ranted about how the neighborhood had a history of being white, and that people like us weren't welcome. Then he admitted it. He smirked and told us, yes, it was him in our yard those nights. He wanted us to know. He wanted us to feel watched. We left, shaking, and locked our doors. We asked other neighbors about him. Some were shocked, others weren't surprised. He's a drunk. His wife left him years ago, one said. The information was no comfort. He was next door, and he hated us. The final straw came with a sound of shattering glass in the dead of night. A brick had been thrown through our living room window. No note, just a message. We knew it was him. The police couldn't prove it. They talked to him, and he played the confused, polite neighbor perfectly. We were trapped in a nightmare. Every creak of the house, every shadow at the window was Gordon. We started sleeping in shifts. Then, the sounds began in the walls. Not from outside, from inside. At first, it was faint. High-pitched mumbling through the shared wall of my home office, which bordered his house. Then came the knocking. Deliberate, rhythmic taps on the other side of the drywall, right where I sat. I'd freeze, my blood turning to ice. I told myself it was pipes, the house settling, anything but the truth. One night, after another barrage of knocks, I finally snapped and screamed, "Leave us alone." The knocking stopped. A deep, calm voice answered. Not from his side of the wall, but from the dark corner of my own room. Make me. I never saw who spoke. The room was empty, but the voice was real. It was in my house. The shared wall. It turned out wasn't just a wall in my office. It connected to a forgotten, sealed-off passage from when the houses were built, a remnant. The home inspector missed, and our landlord forgot to mention. Gordon hadn't just been watching us from his windows. He'd found a way in. He'd been listening. He'd been inside. We moved out the next week, abandoning the house and most of our deposit. We heard through the grapevine that Gordon was eventually evicted. They found things in his side of the wall. They said strange things. personal things that weren't his. But by then, the damage was done. Our dream home was a haunted shell, and the monster wasn't a ghost. He was the man next door, with a smile that hid a key to our private lives. You're told to fear strangers breaking in. No one warns you about the neighbor who already has a way.